an IZ8 station there from Italy, HI8 station, the Dominican Republic. We've got a GI5 from, I'm assuming, Great Britain, SP3 Poland, CT2 Portugal, DH5 is Germany. I'm not the cleanest, neatest soldier in the world, but... Well, my philosophy of ham radio thus far has been all about this concept of what I call earning the bands. And what I mean by earning the bands is, rather than go out and buy a shack in the box, and I'm not criticizing that whole idea of buying a shack in the box, we all really have different things that we want to achieve in this fantastic and wonderfully diverse hobby that we all practice in. And some of us want to do competition, some of us are more interested in operating effectively, and obviously buying a store-bought rig is going to get you to that destination a lot quicker. But for me, the journey has been about homebrew and about reconnecting with understanding how RF technology works. And so I've really wanted to do a lot of building, and a lot of building in different areas and across different modes, and thus far it's been a fun process for me. I know it's not everybody's kettle of fish. In this video today, we're going to be covering a broad range of things, and if you've seen how long the video is and you're thinking there's no way I'm going to sit here and listen to this guy dribble on for half an hour, that's okay. I perfectly understand that sentiment. So if you want to find out about all the stuff to do with the QDX, I would be starting here and just watching the video. If you're interested in finding out about a really interesting and very affordable shack computer option, something that you might be able to do to get yourself a shack computer that performs reasonably well and is dirt cheap, then I want you to fast forward to this time. If you're interested in the SDR Sharp and how I've put it onto this computer that I've just told you about, you might want to go to here in the video. And if you'd like to see my first bona fide QSO with the QRP god, Peter Parker, VK2AOE, then I would suggest that you fast forward to this point where you'll see a little bit of a discussion of the QSO I had that was finally not using any Kiwi SDR online radios. We went point to point. He was portable, and he was nice enough to send me a video of how he was receiving me at his end. He had a fantastically quiet situation because he was at the beach like he always is. And my sending, as slow as it is, I was happy to hear at least the section that he sent me. He was probably nice enough to edit and find me a nice section where he could actually understand the Morse. Sounds, I think, okay. Maybe you can put in the comments below what you think of my sending. Yankee India. Well, we are back on the bench. Be still, my beating heart. We have received some packages. It took a little while. I was worried it was never going to come because these have been so popular. But yes, it's finally arrived. And we'll try not to show our address this time so I don't have to spend an hour trying to blur it all out. Okay, this is the customs declaration on the back, which has my address on it. So we won't be showing you that. But we will be opening this box. And this is the QDX from QRP Labs, Hans Sommer. It's a marvelous piece of kit, been hugely popular. It's a QRP digital modes transceiver, size of a cigarette pack as a kit. Let's get it open and we can see what's in the box. Hopefully we won't be needing that again for a while or ever. I've got to say that my experience is I've only built one of these kits before, and it was a QCX Mini, and my own fault, I managed to absolutely stuff that up. I put the main toroid in the wrong way around, the leads in the wrong positions, and then I stuffed up the board. And my mate Chris has that unit, and if he can get it going, it'll be all his, and I'll be happy for that to be the case. And I will be QSOing with him using the Rockmite that he gave me, hopefully. So I've bought one of these to allow me the magnification factor that I will require to no doubt build this kit. And this is what it comes with. It comes with a nice little power lead. I will probably be making that a lot longer, but it's nice to have. And this is all the bits and pieces inside the baggy, which we'll get open in a minute. And I'm assuming that this is the case. Look at the size of that. That is how big it is. Amazing. So believe it or not, when this is all assembled, I will be plugging this little box into my laptop, and I will be communicating digital modes, hopefully using that antenna that I just built. A lot of people make fun of the digital modes and say that it's the anti-social mode, but I've got to say it's an opportunity to see what's happening on the bands. And also, if you don't feel like chatting to someone, you just want to see how well an antenna is working, or just make a contact without the effort of having to have a conversation, why not? Why not be sport for choice? So this is the case, and that's the front and the back panels. So that is all going to happen. Everything that's going to go in that box goes in. Everything that goes in that box goes in that box. Gee, that's profound. And this is the circuit board. It comes pre-populated with the surface mount devices that I'll get it out. I haven't got a statically strap, but I don't think anyone does, so we'll just be extra careful not to touch it too much. It comes with the pre-mounted surface mount devices, and I would say, I'm just going to put my old person glasses on. Sorry about the noise from the microphone. I've got the microphone strapped to the glasses. It looks really, really well manufactured, and I would not expect anything less from QRP Labs. They have a great reputation, hence the the clamour to get at anything that he produces. And this is the through-hole components that need to go on with the necessary wire to wind toroids. And here is some more through-hole components, and of course the toroids. Now, a lot of people are frightened of these things and the efforts that's required to wind a toroid. Follow the instructions, and most of the time you will be fine. You do have the occasional tricky one, like on the QCX, which you can stuff up. I would just say don't be in a hurry. And that was the biggest problem with me, was that I was rushing, and haste most definitely makes waste. So we will not be rushing on the build for this one, because I really, really, really want this one to work. This is how old guys build kits. It's probably the best investment I've ever made. Please pardon the dodgy sound. I can't be bothered getting the microphone out. It's midnight and I want to go to bed. This is the board and the progress thus far. We've got all our final stage transistors in, diodes, capacitors. A couple of things that were really difficult for me, as usual, was this toroid, soldering it. I thought I'd scraped enough insulation off, but we didn't have continuity when I did the checks. And then when you try and apply, I was going to say the S word, a whole lot of heat to the leads to try and melt the enamel, you're worried that you're going to lift tracks on the board because it's a very fine board. So anyway, I think we got there in the end. It's passed all its continuity tests. Fingers crossed we haven't destroyed anything else on the board. Also, putting in the inductors, I don't know if you can see them there. I'll try and get it in focus. There's these little inductors here, L1 to L4. It's very easy to stick one of those in the wrong hole. You know, you all sorts of trouble when you stick things in the wrong hole. Make sure that you double check L1 to L4 before you put them in the board and solder them, or you'll be like me, having to desolder things and worrying about stuffing up another QRP Labs kit. So, so far, we're going okay. So I'm going to stop while I'm ahead, take a rest, and we will return to this kit building probably tomorrow night. And I'm really happy that I bought one of these for blind people, because this is a game changer. People, get one of these or something like it so that you can actually see what you're doing. This has two double magnification. I'm using the highest magnification. You can also drop this down and really get a cute view of what you're doing. The light's crap as, but it doesn't matter. I've got my light source above the desk. It's really well lit here. So happy days. I'm going to head off to bed now. Okay, so this is the progress thus far. I'm pretty much hitting the home stretch now because all of these bandpass type toroids are single windings and they should go really quickly and actually give you the amount of wire that you need to wind them. So I think they're going to be a lot less difficult than this this little baby here was a pain in the bottom, but it was not too difficult. Just got to make sure you concentrate and, you know, pay attention to the instructions. This one here, I actually scraped the wires with sandpaper before I inserted them in and then soldered them, and that seems to have been an easier way for me at least to do it, and obviously apply plenty of heat without, you know, burning through the bottom of the board. So we've got to do those toroids, bandpass toroids, and then there's a trifilar toroid. They can be a little bit scary, but really, as long as you make sure you meter out the correct leads and whatnot and follow the instructions, it ain't that hard. Make sure that you're concentrating on what you're doing, and hello, $66 for something that's going to work on 4 bands, 80 meters, 40 meters, 30 meters, and 20 meters, doing digital modes. Amazing. So you could literally string up a wire antenna and for $66 be operating in the digital modes. Compared to the earlier days when I was in ham radio, cost of kits, cost of bits and pieces was actually, I think, comparatively more expensive back in the 80s and 90s than it is now. So it's never been a better time, disregarding the present chip shortage, and hopefully as long as nobody drops a bomb on somebody and whatnot, that situation will improve. Anyway, we'll get those bandpass filters done and get onto the trifilar, and then it's basically through-hole components that are very simple to solder in, and we'll be putting it in the box. $16, 17. This is 20 turns of 30 centimeter length of wire is L8. Last bandpass filter, 13 lucky turns. And that is the completed board. Took my time, and it happened probably over a couple of evenings. So I'm not the cleanest and neatest solderer in the world, but we did our best, and hopefully it's going to behave itself. Fingers crossed. Well, that's the QDX powered up. The light comes on. That's always a good sign. And we were running it off our battery. I do have a 13.8 volt supply, but it's saying that it needs to be 12 volts. So I can run it off that supply, but I'll need to get myself a 3-pin regulator and make sure it's a clean 12 volts that's coming out of it. The moment of truth is upon us, and there it is lit up, and already, quite exciting for me, we have a whole heap of stations appearing, and this is on the 40 meter band, not on the brand new antenna. This is just on the inverted V. It's been on a few minutes and it's already just smashing out the DX. It's amazing. What's really quite stunning about this mode is, especially using this QRP Labs QDX digital transceiver, is that it's completely silent. It's quite unnerving in its own way, but you could, you know, if you were feeling like a quiet night in the shack, or you were, you know, wanting to chuff a bit of red wine and just have a relaxing night, this could be a really meditative way to work DX. If we scroll to the top here, we've got an IZ8 station there from Italy, HI8 station, the Dominican Republic. We've got a GI5 from, I'm assuming, Great Britain, SP3 Poland, CT2 Portugal, DH5 is Germany. So we've got just this amazing plethora of that are happening. We've had some serial communication issues and whatnot, so we're not out of the woods yet, but for a while there, when I was hitting tune, we weren't getting any output like we are now on the meter. And I thought I'd blown the finals or something was wrong, but what ended up happening was, I'll show you what can happen. And this is something that I was told, but it wasn't obvious. If this power meter is not, this power meter on the right here, if that's not slid all the way up to the top, and I'm talking about right to the top, like I was 3 millimeters from the top and getting no output. So that's something to think about. And get a load of all this DX happening now. I'm going to have a lot of fun working this, but I've got some other things that I'm doing because this is my work laptop and it's quite a small screen, and I would like to have a computer next to my desk that I can dedicate to all the radio stuff. I sense wonderful things that are going to happen today. Rainbow. Well, after a night of, gee, my face is really big in the screen. After a night of really terrible frustration, really, trying to get Linux to work with my QDX, which I know is working on Windows, I threw out an SOS to, I think his name is Mark Peters, and I'll put the link down below. And I said, this is the error message, and he came back with, at first, what looked like quite cryptic response, because I know nothing about Linux, but went on to some of the Linux videos and found out about groups and adding groups and all that sort of stuff, and got into the terminal, and yeah, we came out here when it was dark, obviously. This is an hour later, and yeah, did everything, rebooted the computer, and happy days, it's working. So now I have a shack computer that's had new life breathed into it. So these are the shack iMacs, and they're a 2008 iMac, and I got these from an e-waste pile. Now you can pick these computers up, these 2008 iMacs. I don't know, I've seen them for like $150, and you might be thinking, well, what use is a $150 piece of crap that's, you know, 15 years old? Well, I can tell you that I don't think Apple ever made a computer that's tougher or better put together than this computer. It's got its original both of these have the original hard drives in them. They apparently have a fan in them. Yeah, the fan, if it's there, doesn't make a noise even after all of this time. Think about that. How often have you bought a PC and replaced the fan in it 5 times over the 5 years you have it? This is just, you know, amazing technology. Now, what I did was, I looked at ways of resurrecting these, and one of the ways that I found was, and I'll just put my password in. One of the ways I found was putting Ubuntu on. And as you can see here, I now have WSJT-X running, and my QDX, which is out of the box at the moment because I thought I was having serial problems because I had a bad solder joint or something like that. So I was just checking out to make sure there was no issues. We have a working WSJT-X, and I will check it on JS Call in a minute. And we can also see that when I hit tune, we get power. So happy days. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get on Kevin Loughlin's Old Tech Guy YouTube channel. He's got some fantastic videos. I've used him when I did my L-Match design and lots of other times too. So plethora of information. So I always, on my YouTube channel, like to give credit where credit is most definitely due. So we now have a shack computer that's doing WSJT-X. I'm sure that it'll be fine on JS Call as well, but we'll have a go at that later. And also, I have my SDR Sharp here. And Kevin has a rundown on how to get Linux to install an SDR software program that will run that as well. So I'm so happy. This thing, I've been using it for jumping on the web as well, using Ubuntu. More than fast enough for that, more than fast enough to run WSJT-X at the moment. But I will do some more DXing today. We'll be popping it into that new antenna that I can run on 20 meters, the vertical, and seeing if we can get some DX on that and seeing how well it runs for that. So link below to my antenna video that I previously put up. Now the other 2008 iMac, I use that to edit stuff that I use in my merch store, and as you will know, this channel has a little bit of an art aspect to it, and I use that computer's software to do a lot of editing of designs that I do. So I don't want to chuck that onto Ubuntu, but I don't want to fork out the massive amounts of money that I'm going to need to buy a new Mac. So what I'm going to do is, while I was trundling around online, I also found a patch to get that iMac onto Catalina. And so I'm going to try and get that one on Catalina. That will be in another video. But think about this as maybe a possibility. If you ever see an old iMac, you might even be able to get it for nothing. Chuck it on Ubuntu. I did have some issues, like I said, with getting the USB to work. I'll put a link below to the video that I used for loading up Ubuntu on this. Ubuntu went on so easily that even a computer illiterate person like me was able to do it. And WSJT-X loaded onto it nicely. And I was thinking, we are not going to have any issues here. And then, of course, something came along. But in that process, I actually learned a lot as well. So, like I said, there are no problems, only opportunities to learn. Well, there you have it, my first DX for the morning. It's only a ZL, cross the ditch. ZL1 GSM, but hey, I'll take what I can get.
Internet, anybody wishing to check in, please call.
And this is...
Sounds like you've got them all, Mike, over.
This is my AIRSPY running on GQRX on my repurposed Mac running Ubuntu.
Enjoyed the DX, and for our first contact too, I've looked on our page, and this is our first contact, so a wonderful copy on your station, and all the best from the island of Kangaroos. Echo Alpha 6 Alpha Lima Whiskey VK5 Alpha Victor Bravo.
So, I've obviously spent a lot of time trying to get this to work, and I think I've succeeded. I've taken a computer that's been ready to be relocated to the scrap heap, and I've turned it into a reliable shack computer. Well, thus far reliable. We'll see how it goes. But I've had these things running in my studio for the last few years, and they were like nearly a decade old when I got them, but they're now closing in on 14, 15 years of age, and it's still showing no signs of giving up the ghost. This is running WSJT-X, and I've already done QSOs on it, and it's working wonderfully. And we'll just jump out of there, and I will jump out of the QDX, because the QDX is using the sound card. This is our GQRX software defined radio program. So this is now working. Once again, none of this Linux stuff came easy for me, but I don't know anything about Linux, and I've managed to do it in a weekend with lots of question asking, with lots of jumping in forums, head scratching, throwing things across the room, etc, etc. But we've now got a way of linking our SDR radio. And you saw earlier, I was having a listen on this, and I heard a CQ call on 7 megs, and I jumped on the Oz QRP transceiver and didn't get that guy because I was having trouble zero beating. I can't remember how to do it on the damn thing. I keep forgetting. So while I was there, I sent out a CQ call, and who should answer but the god of QRP, Peter Parker. So I finally had a proper QRP QSO without using a software-defined radio to get sort of halfway. So we both had a chat. He was, where was he? He told me he was QTH. He's operating portable, and he was operating portable from Seaford Beach, which is near his locale. It's a short bicycle ride from home. So he was out on the bike. I don't know which rig he had with him. I was, like I said, running 5 watts into the new vertical antenna. I'll just jump out of the software-defined radio program to show you that it's also obviously searching the web okay, not lagging, working well, and I'm also able to log on it. So I am a happy chappy. Having this nearby, if I want to monitor software-defined radios, I can do that on Kiwi SDR. If I want to log a call, I can log it on here. It's working into the data modes, which is the main reason why I wanted to have it. Like I said, the next project will be not the T mug. Oh God, professional filming. Will be this one, and this one's running a very, very old version operating system of Mac, and it's no longer supported. But there's a Catalina patch, so we want to get this back on Catalina. I'd be very tempted to put this one on Ubuntu as well now that I've had a go at it, because I think I'm going to get better and better at loading programs on. And that has certainly gotten easier. But I've got a lot of Adobe stuff on here that I use for photo editing and design work that I do on my t-shirts and all that sort of stuff. So this will have to stay Mac if I can help it. Wow, you're still here. Thank you for watching. I don't want to wake the cat up. Please remember to like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. 73s from the Art of Engineering, VK2 Alpha Oscar Echo.